Spirit Sports Consultants presents
Final week of the NFL regular season, week 18. We've got our updated game picks. Also in this video, we're going to take a look at the playoff seedings and the key games that will affect those seedings. Updated picks, we have a few changes, not many this time, then a detailed analysis of the Vikings and the Lions game. The AFC Playoff Picture, Chiefs and Bills locked in at 1 and 2. Baltimore currently the 3. That could change if they don't win. The Texans are locked in at 4. Steelers are currently 5, have a chance to move up to 3 if they win and the Ravens lose. Chargers effectively locked in at 6, and then at 7, currently the Broncos, but this is where there's some intrigue, sets us up for our next segment, who's going to get the 7 seed. The Broncos currently have the 7, but they need to win. If they lose and the Dolphins win, the Dolphins are in. The Bengals, if both these two teams, Broncos and Dolphins, lose, Bengals win, they get it. We'd love to see that. We think Joey B deserves a shot after the year he's had. And let's start off with the games that are going to affect this number 7 seed. We're going to look at all the games that could determine who gets this spot, starting off with the Broncos and the Chiefs. Chiefs at the Broncos in a battle for that number 7 spot. Battle on the Broncos side. The Chiefs, of course, have already secured the overall number 1 seed with that great season that they have had. We think the Chiefs will rest their stars. That's the only common sense thing to do. Maybe Mahomes plays a little bit. I doubt it. So we think the Broncos will take this 24-17, end up getting into the playoffs as the 7 seed. Great year by Bo Nix. Dolphins at the Jets. Dolphins still mathematically alive. They need for the Broncos to lose to get in as that 7th spot. We're not sure what the quarterback situation is going to look like. We still think they're going to have enough to take care of the New York Jets, who clearly aren't playing for anything. Question is whether Rodgers will return next year. Bengals at the Steelers. This is the one game on the schedule that could actually affect 2, potentially 3 AFC playoff spots. We already mentioned if the Bengals win and the 2 teams ahead of them, the Dolphins and Broncos, lose, and the Bengals get that 7th spot. But on the Steelers side, if they happen to win, they are the home team. They're kind of reeling now. Bengals are playing a little bit better. But if they happen to win this one and the Ravens lose against the Browns, then the Steelers vault back up to the 3, and then the Ravens drop down to the 5. So this is a very critical game for this. We still love the way that Joey Burrow has been playing lately. We think Cincinnati is a team that should be in the playoffs. We said that already. We just have to restate it. And they win here, but we still think ultimately they come up short due to the fact they got off to such a slow start this season. Browns at the Ravens, the new Browns versus the old Browns. We think that Lamar Jackson needs this win to secure the AFC North. Clearly, you want that 3 seed, put you in a great spot as opposed to the 5. We think that they will do that here against the Browns. We like the Baltimore Ravens here, 27-17 over the Browns, since the Ravens are likely going to be playing their starters. They can't rest and assume that Pittsburgh won't win. We like them here, 27-17. And we have an updated pick for the Chargers Raiders. In our first video, we thought the Chargers had nothing to play for, being locked into the 6th, but that's not true. If the Steelers lose, which we actually predict that they will, and the Chargers win this game, the Chargers vault up to the 5, way better than being the 6th, because that would set them up with a first-round matchup against the Houston Texans. I'm a Texans fan. That's the easiest road. Texans are not a quality playoff team. Would you rather play with Texans or Ravens? That's an easy one. We think Harbaugh gets the victory here, and they get that 5 seed. And before we continue, if you would, just join our channel, and if you like this video or find it useful, like it and then subscribe. We provide weekly NFL picks, highlights, and sports travel. Thank you. And now let's take a look at the NFC Playoff Picture. This is as it stands now, Vikings fans. Don't freak out. Currently, the Lions are the 1. Eagles locked into the 2. Rams, to our knowledge, are locked in at the 3. The 4, currently the Bucks. Falcons have a shot at that as well. Vikings currently at 5. Of course, that all-important game. Commanders currently at 6. We don't think they can go any higher. The Packers are currently at 7. We think if the Commanders lost, Packers won, that would flip-flop. Not totally sure upon that. But again, the number 4, that's the NFC South to be determined. Bucks and Falcons both have to win if they have a shot, and of course the Vikings-Lions, pivotal game there. Saints at the Bucks. Can the Saints play spoiler in this tough NFC South division matchup? The Bucks dominated the Panthers. We think they're the better team in the NFC South, but Michael Penix looked great against the Commanders. This is going to be interesting. We think the Bucks are going to defend the home turf here, take care of business, 21-14. Panthers at the Falcons again. The Falcons alive in the NFC South. They own the tiebreaker with the Bucks, but they're 1 game behind. So if the Bucks win, Bucks are in. If the Bucks lose and the Falcons can win here, they are in as NFC South champions. That'd be a great story for Michael Penix, who took over a few weeks back, had a great game against the Commanders. That tying touchdown pass was unbelievable. Really great precision, accuracy for a rookie quarterback. We like the Falcons here 28-21 on their home turf over the Panthers, but ultimately we think the Bucks will take the NFC South. 49ers at the Cardinals. 49ers, of course, with that disappointing season coming off. You might call it the Super Bowl hangover. Just so many injuries. But in the game against the Lions, they really put forth a great effort right there up to the end. Brock Purdy, a couple of key interceptions, cost them the game. And this one, we think the Cardinals are going to be more focused. Looked like Purdy got injured, so we'll take the Cardinals here in a close one, 24-21. The Giants at the Eagles. Again, questions remain. Who's going to be playing? And then for the Giants, they're up there. Currently, we think they're up for the number 4 pick. It seems to be a weird tiebreaker who's got what pick. We think the Eagles are going to play enough of their starters, especially on defense, to take care of business here 27-17 over the G-Men. Seahawks at the Rams. Jimmy G gets the start for the Rams. One of our viewers commented, don't overlook Jimmy G. Who knows? Maybe he'll have one of his San Francisco-like performances here. We think with the rest of the Rams resting, cruising for that 3. We believe they're locked into 3. If anyone can interpret the playoff seedings, let us know if that's wrong. We think the Seahawks will take this one 27-17. Jags at the Colts, of course, 2 teams rebuilding for 2025. Not sure who's going to be playing at quarterback. We do think whether it's Anthony Richardson or Joe Flacco, the Colts have the better option at quarterback, of course, being at home, indoor situation, indoor stadium, tough for the visiting crowd. We like the Colts here 27-20. Again, comes down to who's playing. We can't imagine they're resting too many starters in this one. Similarly, with another AFC South division matchup, the Texans locked into the 4 spot, can't improve their situation against the former Oilers Titans. We think that the Texans will be resting most of their starters, give C.J. Stroud a break. There was a tough stretch there, a lot of games in a few days. I think the Titans will ultimately take this one due to the fact the Texans are resting their starters, like the Titans here, 17-14 over the Texans. Bears at the Packers, and one of our bad calls from last week was picking the Packers over the Vikings, but part of that was predicated that Jair Alexander and Watson would play. They were both out. Alexander looks to be lost for the season. He could play potentially if the Packers made the Super Bowl. Not good. So we like the Packers in this game, 21-14, but their overall playoff prospects, not as good. Bills at the Patriots. Again, this comes down to who's going to play. Bills locked into the 2. Patriots with that scary injury to Drake May, quarterback of the future. Do you really want to risk your quarterback of the future in a meaningless final game of the season or rebuild for 2025? We think they might rest him. So we think it's going to kind of be a slow, defensive, ugly game. We like the Bills here 17-14. Commanders at the Cowboys, and how impressive of a rookie season has Jaden Daniels had. We go back to in the preseason, we were saying he was the number 1 quarterback in the draft. We thought the Bears should have taken him. Worked out well for the Commanders. Very similar to what happened with Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud last season. The Texans were beneficiaries of that. As a Texans fan, I would make a C.J. Stroud for Jaden Daniels trade right now. No offense, C.J. Jaden Daniels is just playing out of his mind. He's just got that combination of the running ability, passing, and just seems to be that leader that we think could take them far in the playoffs this season. Bad luck for them. It's a tough NFC. But for this game, we don't think they're going to rest all their stars. They'll probably rest most of them. Should be enough to beat the Cowboys here 21-17 to get ready for the playoffs. Vikings at the Lions in the main event, one of the biggest games of the year. That's not overstating it. This game will decide who gets the number 1 overall seed, gets that bye for the first week. Other team, unfortunately, stupid seeding rules in the NFL. They need to do like the NBA, in our opinion, and reseed based on records. But anyway, the Vikings-Lions here, these teams, again, so evenly matched. We think a fully healthy Lions team, we would definitely pick the Lions without hesitation. Probably think they would win by 7. But having lost Montgomery, the running back, Aiden Hutchinson, the captain of that defense, it's so close. We think the Vikings have edges on coaching. We think if Sam Darnold plays like this, moving the ball down the field, they're tough to stop. But then if he can just avoid plays like this, the interceptions seem to happen to him on the road. Is that an issue? And then the Lions, sometimes with mistakes like this, it worked out. But a few mistakes here and there. For the Vikings, look at this, potentially coach of the year, the Darnold to Jefferson connection, and that unpredictable Brian Flores defense is really tough to scheme for. Big advantage. For the Lions, Jared Goff having a great year. His edge over Darnold is years of experience. It's a fast offense. And then that home Ford Field crowd, we've been a part of that. We know they go nuts. And we've been there for 3 games. It's crazy. We think it's going to be a Lions win. It's going to be so close, 31-28. It's going to come down to who turns the ball over the least. Can the Lions force Darnold to throw a pick? Can somehow the Vikings create with that Brian Flores defense some turnovers from the Lions? I think the Lions win this one.
That's all for this time. Thank you for joining. Please subscribe to our channel, and we look forward to sharing our future videos with you.